Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we are going to show you how to authenticate a domain email. Let's begin. Authenticating your domain email involves adding DNS records provided by your email provider, such as Google Workspace, Microsoft 365, or even Zoho Mail, to your managed domain. All right, because authentication ensures email delivery, reliability, and prevents your emails from being marked as a spam. Now, in my case, my hosting provider is going to be Squarespace, so I have to log in to that. All right. As you can see, the first thing is we need to authenticate domain email with the hosting provider. In my case, that's going to be Squarespace. All right. So log in to your account. In my case, I'm going to be logging into my Squarespace. All right. And we need to access the domain settings, which is going to be found at the top right corner. Click the domain section. You will be then forwarded here, and you have to select your domain. In my case, that's going to be this. So if you're not using Squarespace or you're using something like a different hosting provider, just go to the domain settings. Right, I'm gonna click this one right here, and then you need to go to the email section. Right, so you just have to go to this DNS settings if you haven't already. All right, now in this case, I'm gonna be clicking the. You see this? Use a custom email address that matches your domain. So I haven't had a chance to create an email generated domain from a hosting provider, and that's gonna be, it could be Google Workspace, Microsoft 365, or Zoho Mail. So I'm gonna click this button right here, so that the email provider is gonna be Google Workspace for me, because it's a lot convenient. Click that. Now, once you're here, you just have to select the Google Workspace plan. All right, you can send emails from your domain and get access to productivity tools like cloud storage, calendar, video conference, and more. Now you have the business starter, the business standard, and of course the business plus. For now, I'm gonna be using the first one because it's a lot cheaper, and I'm just wanting to test waters by using the starter plan. All right, so I'm gonna click select. And then you just have to select a billing cycle, choose how often you would like to be billed, all right? Just click the confirm selection. And then one of the most important part is the registration. You just have to choose a username for your email and the domain you want to send your emails from, all right? So after that, the next thing is just have to fill in the information and just move forward along. Once you have successfully created an account for your email hosting provider, you should have an option, something like this. And then the next thing is, now once you've done that, you see you would be able to have this and just have to accept the terms and conditions for your Google Workspace subscription. All right. And since Google Workspace is going to be your hosting provider or email hosting provider, you have to agree to the terms and conditions because this is all part of the email authentication for your domain. All right, so just have to follow all the instructions. Click the understand an option and it will be forwarded to this section. You need to change the password for the email provided for your domain by Google Workspace. All right, so I'm gonna click. You have to click or create a strong and unique password for this, and you have to save it to a safe place. All right, and then after that, you will be forwarded to the email hosting provider. All right, and from here we have to search for the DNS settings, because if we need to locate that or the domain verification section to get the required DNS records, which are typically text format, MX, SPF, GKIM, and sometimes CNAME records. All right, so in this case we're going to click the domain section. If you can't find it here, go to the top left corner where you can see the hamburger menu. All right, because here there is a domain section. All right, and then click the domains, manage domains. You see there is an option here that says activate Gmail. I want you to click on it, and from here you have to choose a method to activate Gmail. One of the most important steps to authenticate your domain mail obviously from a hosting provider. All right. If you want to skip MX record setup, all right, you can do that. But for now, let's set up an MX record. Click next, and you will be forwarded here. All right. And as you can see, we are successful in authenticating the domain email with Squarespace provided by Google Workspace. But the thing is, it only works because these platforms work seamlessly together, right? So if in your case you're using a hosting provider, all you have to do is add in a text, MX, SPF records, and GKIM, and sometimes CNAME records to your hosting provider. You have to manually do it. Now, click on done. Since the Gmail is now ready, you see the Gmail is now activated. It's kind of relatively easy. Now, in your case, if you have a different email hosting provider, all you have to do is go to the DNS settings, and you have to provide all the information here. As you can see, the Google Workspace has been added already. You see that? These are going to be the information. So I'm just going to add a record here. For example, you have a different email hosting provider. You just have to add a new record. For example, the first one is going to be text. All right. And then copy the type is going to be text format, and then put in the data from your email hosting provider. All right. Click on save. And then you just have to follow all of the instructions. All right. For example, you need to add a record like MX type. Go to MX, and then add the at the end, and put all this the mail server here, and click on save. And the last thing is gonna be the CNAME record. All right. And again, this is only applicable to a different hosting provider. Depends on the email hosting provider that you are using. In my case, it's Squarespace, so they already work that in my end for me. But if in case you are encountering problems for both, you might want to contact the hosting provider first. For example, if your hosting provider is Squarespace, click on the help button on the top right corner. So that's one way. And then go to the contact us option right here, the very bottom, and type in your questions. So that's one way. And then, of course, you need to contact the email hosting provider. In my case, that's going to be Google Workspace. So if you're using a different email hosting provider, just click on the contact us option and tell them your problem. One of the customer support staff will give you insights and troubleshooting steps on how to fix it. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you again in the next one.